when you
The truth of the streets. What up, what up, what up, what up? This is your boy Joe Chapo back in the building. Another edition of If They Only Knew. As always, we got your boy Main Light on the hill. We got the OG Mo Gucci in the building. And today we got a stupid special guest, yo. Y'all know him all through the fucking YouTube world and shit, yo, outside of the world. He got the craziest story in the hood. We got your boy Major Key Boxing. What up, man?
What's going on, brothers? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Chilling. Good.
Another day, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, we appreciate you taking the time out. Shit, yo, give us this interview. I already know this is gonna be a banger just off the snippets we heard on this shit, yo. But shit, we start them all the same. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna begin from tell us a little bit about yourself, where you from, and how you came up, man.
Yo, so to start off, all right. So let me go a little deep real quick, just for a brief second. So my family is from. All right, so I got three grandparents, both grandmothers, and my grandfather from my mother's side that are all Puerto Rican, and then my grandfather was the dark Dominican with green eyes. All right, so just to give you a brief history on that. My grandfather, though, on my mother's side, this dude was a pioneer. He moved from Puerto Rico. He moved his whole family to St. Croix, and he helped out with the cane business. With the politics and all of that, which is why my grandmother's sister, right, was a senator for 12 years. You can literally look that up right now for the U.S. Virgin Islands. So she was Lillian Bellardo. She was a senator for the U.S. Virgin Islands for 12 years. All right. So she moved when the whole wave of my grandmother moved to the United States, and the whole wave of Puerto Ricans coming up in like the 50s and all of that. Had my mother.
Was she part of that Operation Bootstrap?
That I don't know, because may she rest in peace. But that was like my mother, like my grandmother was like, but she only talked Spanish. You know what I'm saying? When I guys like, grandma, how you say strawberry in Spanish? You say strawberry. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of Puerto Rican she was. You know what I'm saying? But she knew the ins and outs as far as how to get that money in the United States. She was the hustler. You know what I'm saying? And my step grandfather was the provider, because he just was the worker. He was a worker, bee in the factories and all that, right? Okay. So I was born in Norwalk, Connecticut, and the reason why was because when my mother married my father, right, he was a cop, and he had his job over there in Connecticut. So I was born over there. When they separated or whatever, she ended up moving back to 187 Little Italy in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? That's where that whole situation went out of control. My sister was born or whatever, but then my mother ended up killing my father, because she said that he was drunk all the time and shit like that, and threatened to kill us. And so
how old were you at that time?
I had just turned 3. This literally happened July 9th of 1983, and that was his birthday. So she shot it. He came over. He was already dealing with somebody else, but he came over to spend the night with my mother, and did that apparently while he was drunk. Claimed that he was going to shoot all of us, and my mother was like, "That's not going to happen." So while he was drunk, sleeping in the morning, she plotted the whole shit, took us out, said that she was going to shopping or whatever. I remember going down the steps and hearing a gunshot. When we came back, I remember, so vividly, being just 3 years old, me going into a brown paper bag to grab the fruit roll-ups out of this shit. And she's like, don't grab it. And she's like, and whatever you do, don't go bother your father. He's sleeping. So as soon as she said that, I was a badass. So I ran to the room and opened the door, and all I seen was blood. You know what I'm saying? And so that's like the first crazy experience I remember in my life. You know what I'm saying? But I was born in Norwalk. raising
Hold on. We can't skip by that. Tell me, like, seeing that. I mean, how did that affect you? I mean, I know at 3 years old we can't really register as
temper
what it really
tantrums,
is, but did you see it for
bro.
what it was?
Temper tantrums, bro. Like, no. I had questions about that even till about 10 years ago. I think was the last time I spoke to my mother about that with my concerns about the whole shit. You know, but me and her, like, look, at this time we've already let bygones be bygones. She raised me, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen my father since 1983. I just got to take her side of the story for raising me, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But you know, what was hard was getting conflicting information from my grandmother, my father's mother, right? Because she did watch us. She got custody for us part-time, you know, to watch us weekends and shit like that. So I had to go over there, and she would, like, she had his urn right there. You know what I'm saying? She had his ashes. She would try to teach us about Catholic Church and be like, your mother's a bitch. She killed my son, blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, growing up, it was a little confusing to me. Like, yo, what was
that must have been tormenting as a child, man.
It was.
So obviously your mother didn't do time for that, did she?
She did about 1.5 years in a mental institution because what she claimed was temporary insanity. She said that you know, she felt like there was no other option because his best friend was a detective, and actually the detective is the one that made her say the truth. His best friend. So he's the one that interrogated her. So she said so basically that it was temporary insanity because he threatened our lives and she didn't know what to do. He was a police officer. He said he's got friends in high positions that he'll find her no matter where she goes if she tries to leave. So she just killed him. She took his service weapon out, shot him one time right here, according to her, because I asked her directly. Yeah. She said that she shot him under the chin and he opened his eyes. She got scared and shot him in the head.
Dang.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, did this cause a division in your family?
Just from the mother's side to the father's side, yeah.
Okay.
Just like as far as like in the family, everybody, my mother's side always took my mother's side, and my father's side somewhat took my father's side. But I do have cousins, and even my aunt that's my father's sister that said that he's seen her do, or she's seen him hit her, and didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is what she told me as I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? So that's why overall, when you take everything in its totality, I gotta side with my mother at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, I was only 3 years old, you know, when all this happened.
Now, did this cause you to like act out in the streets and shit, yo?
No, I mean, there was some shit there, but more when I was young. When I was young, like I'm talking about like before 5 years old, while my mother was gone and all that shit, I used to have like temper tantrums. I used to bang my head on the floor and shit. And I'm talking about the cement. You guys familiar with that area 2045 Southern Boulevard where it's like the Social Security office?
Yes.
Okay. So across the street they I don't know if it's still there, but they had like a little strip before you got to the next buildings, and it was like a little park, and they had like chess tables, like chess, whatever. Okay. So my grandmother and my grandfather used to always hang out there, and especially my grandmother during the weekdays when my grandfather was working. She would take us across the street and we'd be there and shit like that. And I remember my uncle, you know, he's a big time drug dealer over there in Watson. This motherfucker used to step out in white suits and shit like that. He ended up dying because he started using his own supply, ended up going in and out of jail and shit like that. But back in those days, he was high profile, you know what I'm saying? And this dude, one time I remember he brought his friend around. He's like, yo, you want to see something funny? And dude's like, yeah. And he smacked me, right? And he knew what my reaction was going to be. So I start banging my head on the cement, like I got mad, and I start banging my head on this fucking cement. And so he starts laughing, and my grandmother grabs me and like, tú vas, te voy a enseñar ahora que tú vas a aprender. And she took me across the street to fucking dunk me in a fucking cold ass fucking bath. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And after that, I kind of chilled. You know what I'm saying? I kind of chilled with that. But I was always a little off, you know what I'm saying? When in my younger years until I kind of brought peace into my life. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking, brother. That's
so what was tell the people, you know, what was life like as a kid, man? Past that, you know what I'm saying? What was your relationships like with your family, your peoples, you know?
So my family, I've always been tight with my family. I'm not gonna lie to you, like my mother's side especially. But then as I got older in my teenage years, I got real tight with my father's side also because my cousins lived on Allerton. My mother's side, they pretty much raised me. It was like a collect. You know how they say it takes a village to raise a child, right? Yep. My whole family. I'm talking about, bro. I remember going to 151st Street, by the way, 151st Street and 3rd Ave, right? There was a Bible store out there, and it was also a house on the second floor. That was my grandmother's sister, Titi Paulina, that owned that shop on 151st Street and 3rd Ave. Okay, so just so you guys know, that was actually family of mine that actually owned that shit. You know what I'm saying? And she was like a pastora, like you know. And then her husband Marco was the pastor, and then their son was following in their footsteps. May he rest in peace. He died off of COVID a year and a half ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, man, like with them, I was really tight. My family growing up, Thanksgiving, always my aunt used to always take us to the movie theaters because my mother wasn't really like, you know, producing a lot of bread. But my aunt always had like she pretty much helped rebuild the Bronx. All the fucking projects that you see, go look at for Elizabeth McKeechin. That's my aunt. You know what I'm saying? And she lives in Connecticut or whatever, but she helped rebuild the fucking Bronx, bro. She's a general contractor. She makes like almost $200,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? Just doing shit like that. You know what I mean? And but yeah, what's called it? They were close to me, but my father's side I got closer to in my teenage years because I started going to Allerton to visit my brother and my grandmother, and then also after she moved to Kruger Avenue, then it was my other cousins that moved into that apartment in Allerton, and I used to always go to Skate Key with them and shit like that, and then spend the nights. You know what I'm saying? That Kennedy Fried Chicken over there on Allerton Avenue used to be a hot spot for me. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, I grew up in that whole area, bro.
So did you have a relationship with the streets?
Yeah. Mostly during the daytime when I was real young, like in my mid years, mostly in the daytime because 2045 Southern Boulevard, I was a kid, right? So, you know, they let us play no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Dark, it doesn't matter. You know, there was a junkyard. That building that's next to it didn't exist back in the day. It was a junkyard. You know what I'm saying? So we used to hang out, all the neighborhood kids, all the fucking, like, you know, the teenagers that were getting into trouble. We were all cool. Like, everybody knew each other. We all grew up because it was families that lived in the building. You might have one person that lives on the second floor. They got a cousin or uncle that lives on the 5th floor. You know what I'm saying? It was like that for everybody. Everybody knew each other. You know what I'm saying? But when I got into high school is really when I started skipping school. And you could find me in Burnside. You could find me on 157 in Girard. You could find me, you know what I'm saying? Like you can find me in Yonkers, bro. And I ain't know nobody in Yonkers, but you can find me over there. You know what I'm saying? Like I was all over the Bronx back in at that time. You know what I'm saying?
What's the craziest shit you seen out of the Bronx?
Man, there's a lot of shit that I seen, bro. I seen coming back from Brooklyn one time. Me and my mother and my sister are walking, and right there on Fish Avenue, in Boston Road. This dude, all I seen was brand new sneakers and fucking, you know, the body, the sheet over him. You know what I'm saying? Dude was dead on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Brand new sneakers, bro. Like he just bought that shit that day. They were white, crispy, clean. And all you seen was the sneakers, man. I seen that. I seen an old lady get hit by a fucking car up at the top of the hill right there. And all I seen was I heard like screeching, and I seen an old lady flying in the air, and she died. She hit the ground. She died.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Bro, I seen shit, man. What have I not seen in the Bronx, man? I seen so much. I seen a chick get off the train station, right? The train station, and this dude was trying to hit on her, and she's like, "Nah, I got it, man. I ain't trying to deal with you." And he stomped her out. He stomped out like when she was trying to get out the door. He stomped her out right there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I seen a lot of crazy shit in the Bronx.
That's the Bronx, man. That becomes normal too, yo. Like
people walking right by that shit. They ain't even paying it no attention, no help, no nothing.
Ain't nobody was trying to say shit back then, bro. Ain't nobody was trying to say shit. I seen a cab driver, you know what I'm saying? Like these dudes, like I was looking out my window, but I had my lights off, so they didn't see me. But these dudes like try to jump out the cab and jump into the convent, the same convent I was talking about. Remember the Catholic school, what's called my main was talking about? The laundromat was? Well, across the street from that, right behind the laundromat, there's a convent, like where the nuns live. That's where we used to play football. You know what I'm saying? These dudes jumped the fence to go in there, and his cab driver came out, started clapping right there. You know what I'm saying? Like at them, and he hit somebody. But this is just because they didn't pay the fare. I seen this other dude that used to run the shop, O'Neill's right there on Wilson Road. Like literally, you make a left, and the first thing before it even splits to 214 in Wilson, this dude owned that shop, and they used to hustle mad way back in the days. And this dude in the middle of the night, I guess some dude tried to like post up, and he pulled a fucking 357 right to his head, bro. He was like, "Yo, who the fuck you think you are on my block? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I was like, oh shit, this dude about to kill him. But luckily, the dude got the message and was like, I'm sorry, I'll never come back. And he left.
Yeah, he doubled back on that.
I was on his side that day. Oh shit, yeah. And let's flip it a little bit. Tell me one of your favorite childhood memories.
Favorite childhood memories? Boxing with my grandmother. That's exactly why I love boxing, and I run a boxing channel. My grandmother, not only before I even get into boxing, Crotona Park. I know a lot of people don't like Crotona Park, man, but yo, I literally was there before that lake that they turned into a pool, because somebody told me they turned into a pool area, right? That lake used to be like abandoned, green, ugly, fucking full of moss and trash and shit like that. But before that, you used to be able to paddle in that shit. They had like little paddle boat rentals that you could do, and that was like the fun of it, right? But I grew up there so long that they used to have the little minor league games there. And my grandfather, on a regular basis, every Saturday and Sunday, he used to go there and sell beer and soda. And then they would barter for like the rabo and for the piraguas and for the coquito and all that shit. He used to just barter, and we would always have a great time, all the kids, because the adults would take care of us. You know what I'm saying? And then we would go to the handball courts, or we would walk around the fence, especially on a Saturday morning. Bro, like you find money, free money and shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was drunk the night before. You know what I'm saying? So you find free money. That was one of my favorite. But also with my grandmother, when she used to have everybody over for the fights, bro. Like I watched the Mike Tyson versus McNeely fight over there. I watched Chavez versus Camacho fight. You know what I'm saying? I watched a bunch of fights over at my grandmother's house, and the whole hood would be in my grandma. I'm talking about standing up, and all the kids would be fighting in the long hallway and shit, play fighting and shit like that. And then when it came time to the actual, and all the adults be dancing, and then when it came time to the fight, bro, you had the dude with his little strap belt, the dude that gave us the illegal box and set it up, he'd be right there. So if they sent the bullet to disrupt service, that motherfucker fixed that shit real quick. Everybody start clapping. We continue to watch the fight.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm
Yeah, that's that fucking old school Bronx shit for real right there. Yeah. So was that the creation of Major Key Boxing right there?
I think so.
When did you start taking it serious?
I left watching boxing for a few years in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I got back into it with I think I stopped watching it around when Trinidad lost to Bernard Hopkins, and I picked back up with when it started with De La Hoya versus Mayweather. That's when I picked back up on it, and then I started watching again because a lot of people felt like De La Hoya could have pulled that one out. And I seen everybody's interest in this shit. Like I literally left work early, and I popped up at a restaurant. And yo, not only was the restaurant full, and I'm talking about Kissimmee, Florida at this point. Not only was the restaurant full, but there was like layer after layer of people outside watching through the windows. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole outside had like a whole coating of people in rows just watching through the window, because that's how much of a buzz that shit had. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I really got back into it. You know what I'm saying? So I can tell you anything from that. I paid for every single Pacquiao, Mayweather, and Cotto fight ever since the De La Hoya versus Mayweather fight.
That's dope.
Yeah, I used to be heavy into boxing, and my father used to be heavy into that shit. He kind of got me into it, yeah. But tell us something about Major Key that people really don't know, or a misconception about you.
I mean, you know, that's a hard question, because I really don't care about perception at all, man. Like, you know, I'm an open book. All you got to do is talk to me. A lot of people think that because of the way that I'm aggressive or the way I talk, I just talk like that because that's how I was raised. But I'm a humble giant, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I really am not somebody that just starts shit. Like I literally joke around. I'm the dude that be big as fuck, and you're wondering like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? And I crack a joke with you at the store. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know, just to kind of like, you know, get the tension out of the way. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I could have a ham on me maybe, but it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're trying to threaten my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm just a regular human being. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a rough life, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I already went through all that. I went through all the motions. I have 9 children. That's probably something that people don't know about me. I have 9 children. You know what I'm saying? I got mad. As a matter of fact, I want to show y'all something real quick. Because one thing, I never gangbanged, but I was blessed into kings at a certain point in life, but I never gangbanged. So don't misconstrue the two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was just
I
blessed.
get what you're saying. It makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah, I just was blessed in by someone who was high ranking. And so, with that being said, this is me in Mexico City back in 1996 or 97, right? And this is, you remember Cece? Remember when they had Cristina and Cece, the Spanish talk show host?
From out there, their channels.
No, I'm talking about like just period. Remember in the Spanish
I
TV,
remember
they had
Christina.
Cece and Cristina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cece, Sevcec. It was a Mexican guy. And I'll show you the picture right now. But what's called it? This is me back in those days, right? Because my mother took us to Mexico City because they paid for it, right?
Yeah.
To do an interview and to ask how I felt about my mother killing my father, and then turn to lesbo after that because she turned lesbo after that, right?
Oh wow.
So they asked me to go. So this is me throwing up a king sign which says "say."
Wow.
That's me, like 16 years old, son. You know what I mean?
Word up.
Yeah, the ill mustache.
Yeah.
He got the 80s porno style mustache going on.
I had the trucker mustache at one point too, because
Oh,
back in those days when you work in a restaurant, you had to have a particular look. You couldn't have a goatee or nothing.
Yo, you know what I'm curious about though, Major? And all that you witnessed from a child to all that inner stress that you had as a child, banging your head, and as you reached into your teenage years and all that, you didn't fall to like the streets, court cases, or
No. Okay. So, all right. I'm glad you asked that so I can articulate that, because here's the thing. So I was, don't get me wrong, I got into enough fights, bro. Enough fights. I got into a lot of fights. You know what I'm saying? Don't get that twisted. But the thing was, back in those days, you could fight. You could fight a fair one. You know what I'm saying? And so it was boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? It was never about guns for me at that point until I moved to Miami. So I'll explain that. So when in New York, for example, you know what I'm saying? Like my brother's 4 years older than me. He handled whatever that and Cuz, remember I told you Cuz came through one time with the hammer or some shit, bro. Like that was for the OGs to help me out if it ever got to that level. But I never had to do that. It was like, you know, some dudes try to bully me over there in Boston Road because I was a light-skinned dude. You know what I'm saying? They want to try to like see if they could get away with one and shit like that. But I still hung around and I wasn't scared of them. You know what I'm saying? We would play football. They want to fight afterwards. We start wrestling or whatever. But as far as getting into cases, I was always in gifted classes since leaving the 5th grade. There was a school over there on Southern Boulevard, and I don't remember how far down, bro. But it was just a gifted school. It was just for gifted kids. I got accepted to that shit. But the thing was that I was low income. My mother said, yo, there's no way I could take you. I could bring you here every day. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. So she put me into 135. MS 135 is right there off of Mace Avenue, you know, in Boston Road. So that's where I went. And I was in an honors class, but I wasn't in a gifted program. So I started getting like, you know, around some hood ass motherfuckers from Boston Road and from Gun Hill. I used to take the dollar van to school. You know what I'm saying? Take the dollar van with the Jamaicans, and I was cool with the Jamaicans. It wasn't the Jamaicans I had any issue with. It was the black dudes that were racist. Like, oh, this is a light skinned dude. We're gonna try to, you know, you know what I'm saying? Pull this nigga card. So that's where I had the drama. I had to rep. But with the Jamaicans, they love me, bro. Like I learned how to play soccer from them and all that shit.
Nice.
But so from 135, I started kind of getting you know, into the scene with the roughing shit up, and I was getting a little older, hanging out on Allerton a lot, you know what I'm saying? Then I went to Clinton. When I went to Clinton, that's when shit went a little crazy, you know what I'm saying? That's when we created our own clique over there. We created BBC, Boricuas Beyond Control. Anybody from Clinton from 1994 to 1996 knows exactly what I'm talking about. It was bugging out. I had to save the fucking leader himself from getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because he was fucking, he gave a green light on somebody in Tracy Towers across the street to get fucked up.
Did you know the twins from Clinton? Oh, they from the Towers, but they used to go to Clinton too. Didi and Ellie, the two blonde twins with freckles on their face. They used to hang out with Mashula and all that.
What year did they go there?
They're about your age bracket. Where you at? Age? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 42. I just turned 42.
Oh, nah. You younger.
They're older.
Yeah, you younger. They were.
Trying to put me on my age and say I'm old, motherfucker?
No, brother. Nah, I thought for some reason. No, you carry yourself like your mature level speaks a lot of volume for you. You know what I mean? So you know that's what that is.
Yeah, no, I'm 42. I did 2 years of high school in Clinton, and then you know what I'm saying, and then I did two years of high school in Palmetto in Miami, and that's a whole another story, the Miami shit. But as far as getting into trouble, So I went to I didn't have anything where I got arrested or anything like that in New York. When I went to Miami, it was a little more hectic because in Miami they're not used to a light-skinned dude like me saying, "Yo, what's up, bitch ass nigga?" You know what I'm saying? Like, this and this and that. They're not used to something like that. They're not used to me talking the way I talk. And I lived in Paran, and Paran, and shout out to Paran though, because I had a lot of cool cats too that was mad cool with me. You know what I'm saying? Morenos that they never met nobody like me. They're like, yo, who the fuck is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like that. So shout out to the dudes that was cool with me, but I did have to kind of like rep. Like, I remember this one dude pulled out a knife. He talking shit to my sister in the back of the school bus. And he pulled out a knife, and I'm like, man, what the fuck you gonna do with that bitch ass nigga? And I ran up right in his face. I'll snatch that shit and stab you with it, son. And then he just calmed down, like, yo, chill. And after that, they came and apologized. You know what I'm saying? And why? It wasn't because they wanted to. It's because I put them in a predicament where all their other homies that I was cool with told them, yo, why you even trying to fuck with that nigga? That nigga's cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was one of them situations. That happened a couple of times in Paran, but Paran is like a hood ass area if y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? But so I got locked up one time, and this was my man's fault because we were sharing a gun, and this nigga was drunk in the TCBY. He already got like a restraining order from that shit by the manager, and he was there, and I was doing a ride along to get some trees. So I come back and shit like that, and I got trees in my pocket, like no cellophane from the cigarette or nothing like that. He just gave it to me. I put it in my pocket. So I go, and this motherfucker's getting arrested because he tried to pull the gun out while they arresting him. You know what I'm saying? So they fucking, and he hurt the dude's shoulder, whatever, like the cop's shoulder. So they fucking arrested him. And all I'm asking is like, hey, where y'all taking him so I can tell his mother? And I shut the fuck up. You're obstructing. As a matter of fact, arrest him. So they got so wild and crazy. And then they checked me so quick because they were so mad that they didn't reach down into my pocket. They took everything out of my pocket, but they didn't feel the weed. So then when they checked me again in the back of the building, then I had weed on me, and they got it. And they arrested me for that. And I was like, well, they planted it. I was like, yo, I got like 30, 40 witnesses that watched when they arrested me. There was nothing in my pocket. But they were so mad at me that they planted it in my pocket. And that's why it's here. You know what I'm saying? And they drop charges immediately. You know what I'm saying? Again, I got arrested in New York. And that was observation of sales, right? I had a Florida license. That was on Pugsley Avenue. On Pugsley Avenue, I got arrested over there, observation of sales, right? That was the third time, too, that week that they fucking pulled up, bro. I should have known better. You know what I'm saying? Because that crack money wasn't really good at that time. We were talking about 1998, 1999, around that time. That crack money wasn't good. So anyway, so I'm over there on Pugsley, and I had because I had my stash up on the roof, right? But I had it in a place where I don't think anybody knew where it was at. I had it in a dirty napkin under the bars that cover the roof. The window in the roof, and there were a bunch of holes where people used to stash shit, but I didn't want to put it there. I wanted to put it where I knew where it was. So I would act like I'm looking over and just lean in over the staircase to look down, but I would be taking out a little bit at a time, and I would take it out and I'll put like 4 little baggies in my mouth and I'll go downstairs, and I didn't give a fuck if I had to climb 5 stories to keep on getting it as long as I was going to get caught. So I ended up getting caught though. You know what I'm saying? But I was so smart, bro. Like when we crossed the street, there was a Super Red in the corner. So I took all the fucking 1s and 5s, and I told the dude because he knew us. I was like, yo, turn this into 20s, bro. Boom. I don't know how much is there. Just turn it into 20s. And he fucking gave me 20s, bro. And I walked out. So there was no marked bills. I know that for a fact. We walked by the officers. You could hear people on the walkie-talkie. You just pass them. They're like, hey, put your hands on the wall. I'm like, all right, fuck it. That's when I went to Rikers. You know what I'm saying? But through CB, when I went through CB, I got mad cool with these cats there because I had a broken bear, right? A bear coat. And it had I had mad cigarettes in that shit, but I didn't have no matches. So we were smoking. I was letting people smoke and shit, you know what I'm saying? And it was this one dude, it was a white dude too, he was a blood. And so he's like, yo, me and him got mad cool. So when we get into Rikers, I remember the last time I seen him was they made you go to a door, and then you take a shower, and then you got to go around that wall. They give you your clothes or whatever. Then you go and they take you to wherever the fuck you're going. So he was like right across from where I was going. I believe it was C-74 though. But when we go into there, he's like, yo, if you need cigarettes or anything, let me know, bro. I got your back. You know. So I go in there, and I don't have no cigarettes, bro. So finally, like the next day, because the first day I went there, motherfuckers was fighting and shit. Going into the bathroom to fight, just one-on-one type of shit. And then And then the next day, I'm like, I go to the day room and shit, and I'm like, I asked this dude, you mind busting me down? And he looked at me. He looked me up and down. He's like, yo, you blood? I'm like, blood? I'm like, nah, I'm not shit, bro. I'm just asking you for a bust down. And he just turned away and like just ignored me. And I was like, oh, that's how it is? All right. So I fucking went back to my bunk, you know what I'm saying? And he came at me, bust me down. I guess somebody told him, yo, he's cool, you know what I'm saying? So he came back and bust me down. I was like, yo, I appreciate that. But then this Puerto Rican dude walked up to me with like a piece of tile. He's like, yo, this is for your protection, bro. And I looked, I'm like, what the fuck you mean for my protection? You know what I'm saying? And I tossed the shit to the side. I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. I appreciate that. And thank God I did that, because then like fucking 30 minutes later, the turtles come in checking everybody. I felt like that was like a setup. You know what I'm saying?
Of course that was. That shit probably had bodies on it.
Yeah, son. So I was like, yo, I tossed that shit and whatever. So then the turtles came, whatever. Then later on that night, I get in an argument with the fucking dude that's telling, like, calling out the names for who's next on the phone. I had no idea at this time that motherfuckers was running phones. Had no idea. All I know is that he sounded like he was going alphabetized. My name got skipped, and I'm like, yo, bro, you trying to treat me like a bitch right now, son? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, you better not try to be playing me, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fuck your ass up. So I'm over here ranting and shit. So he did call like another 10 names, bro. I was losing my shit, and then finally he called my name. So you know what I'm saying? But then after that, no issues. After 4 days, finally I got out, because my mother was blocking me, because my girl in Florida had already sent the money to my mother. And my mother said, no, we don't want your money. I want him to stay in there a couple of days so he can learn the lesson. Okay? So she's the one that blocked the money. So anyway, so 4 days later I get out, and when I'm leaving, dude's like yo, keep spitting, bro. That shit was fire. I'm like, I ain't even spit for this cat. You know what I'm saying? But I guess he heard from somebody else, because all through our CB, before we even left to Rikers, I was spitting. I was doing ciphers in all of the cells and shit. You know what I mean? So besides that, one more time I got locked up was for some bullshit where my ex-girl had tried to hit me, and I held her ass down, and she got mad because I was holding her down like, bro, you see, I'm stronger than you. What the fuck you gonna do? So she called police, tried to say that I hit her, and then dropped charges after me doing 4 days. So.
Typical shit, yo. That's crazy. Let me ask you something, though. Like when you got to an age where you can like realize everything that was going on in your life and make sense of certain things, it affected your relationship with your mom personally. Like you held a grudge, and then obviously you was able to mend it, because I know you speak of her like y'all cool and all that tight and shit. You know what I mean? So what was that about? How was that?
Yeah, so with Mom Duke, so what happened was I did actually hold a grudge, and you know what I'm saying, but I would kind of act like nothing bothered me, like, because I would only see her on holidays, because she lived in Long Island when I was living down south. You know what I'm saying? Like I was living a whole different life, separate life. She would come visit once in a while, and that wouldn't be the topic of conversation. You know what I'm saying? So then as we started getting closer, when I moved up to Kissimmee, Kissimmee St. Cloud area, I would say. When I moved up in 2006, I think I moved out to Central Florida, and then I lived with her for 2 months so I could get on my feet and find a job and get my own crib. So when I did that, me and her started getting closer, but I still had questions about the whole shit. So it took a couple years before one day I just called up and I said, Ma, you know what I'm saying? I need to talk to you. And this was probably I want to say 7-8 years ago that I called up and I was like, you know what? I lived my whole life having these questions. You know what I'm saying? Why couldn't you just leave? Like why couldn't you just do something else instead of kill him? You know what I'm saying? You didn't have no other options. So she explained it to me. You know what I'm saying? It was a situation where I cried, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of let her know that I was disappointed in that. But she told me, look, I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't the only option. I love you. I wouldn't have wanted to do that. And so, at that point, and then my grandmother died. And so me and her just kind of got closer over that whole thing. And then I ended up living with her again after I broke up with my ex for a couple of months. And then we just bonded, bro. And we're like that right now. We're still close. You know what I mean?
That's some real shit, though. So how did you feel about you said, and I say this with respect, dude, this hits home for me when you speak about these kind of subjects. Yeah. Your mom's, being with women now. How did?
I mean, it's been like that since I can remember, bro. Since 1983, when she left, she went to the mental institution, like I said, and then after that, I moved. We moved. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I moved from 1985 to 1988 to Passaic, New Jersey. So 110 Hamilton Avenue, I remember that as well. So so over there, she moved in with somebody named Linda that was her partner. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, it was always women that she introduced me to. So it was like I just grew up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's
I don't know anything different for her. Like I never, the only time I felt any strange shit about that was when motherfuckers try to play me and be like, "Oh, you gay because your mother's gay," and then that's when I got into a fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would have fought for that too, for sure. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yep. People just ignorant.
Probably I overcompensated with 9 children just to prove them wrong, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
nah, it ain't nothing that you got to prove to nobody because
kids and shit. Ain't no question.
No, I'm just saying, I know I didn't need to prove it, but I'm just saying, like growing up though, you never know what's in the subconscious, why you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
That's what's up, man. So let's step into the your YouTube channel. What made you get into that? What made you decide to start the channel? Tell the people what's the channel about.
So I was watching a lot of boxing channels. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciated the content, but I also started seeing a lot of clickbaiting, and I seen a lot of people like with narratives, like they push in a particular narrative, and nobody's like really contesting them. So I decided, hey, let me start clicking links, and checking the waters, like seeing what it is. So I remember there's one dude, I'm not even gonna make him popular, give his name out, but dude had me on, and immediately he asked a question. It was a debate. It was a very basic debate too. Who do you feel has the better resume, Hall of Fame, Mayweather or Pacquiao? So immediately when I get my response, the dude just automatically like goes ham and you don't know no fucking boxing. This and that. Without letting me explain it. I'm like, I thought this was a discussion. Right? I thought this was gonna be like a little debate. He starts going ham. Oh, you a casual, this and that. So I'm like, yo, let me tell you something, bro. Like you could call me a bitch because I know this is YouTube and you don't know me, so you could get away with that one. But don't ever fucking call me a boxing casual, son. You know what I'm saying? That shit offends me because we talking boxing, So like he kicks me off, then I come back on and boom, boom, boom. And then people hear about me. Then I'm on a different channel and motherfuckers is in the chat like, yo, that's that dude right there. Because back in those days, I was using my real name, Glenn Avery. Right. So when you see people say, what's up, Glenn? They're talking to me. That's my name, Glenn. Right. So people were like, yo, that's that motherfucker that went at this dude, blah, blah, blah. So I started earning a little rep. And then I started debating other people because people they just don't know sometimes, you got to correct them.
Yeah.
So we start doing that, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, you know what, man? I could do my own motherfucking channel. So I did my own channel. And then I was blessed enough to bump into Troy Grizzy. That's my brother right there. You know what I'm saying? No doubt about it. We actually happened to know people that knew, like his brother, like his best friend that's like a brother, dated my cousin over there on Alexander. Okay.
Crazy.
So sent me pictures. Matter of fact, he put me on the phone with his boy. His boy put me on three-way with my own cousin who I haven't spoken to in 20 years. That's yeah.
You see how the universe works?
Exactly.
So crazy.
That's crazy, son.
Exactly.
Respect to that. Yo, Troy, good people though, man. Real good people.
Yeah.
That's why I fucks with Troy, man. You know what I'm saying? So Troy started rocking with me, and Troy is very connected with a lot of boxers, man. He's very, very connected. He used to spar a lot of these guys. A lot of people don't know that. I know he's a jokester and stuff like that, but
he's humble, man. Real humble.
He really knows a lot of people, bro. He'll put you on the phone with legends, bro. Hall of Famers, son. Like nothing. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, we were able to do a bunch of interviews back to back. Like every week we had 3 or 4. I'm exaggerating with 4, but like at least 1 to 3 max in a week. We had that shit rolling like that every week. You know what I'm saying? Buddy McGirt, you know what I'm saying? Hasim Rahman, what's called it? Yo, all type of, I can't even start the list because I'm going to forget people. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, yeah. That's dope though, man. But you saying you don't want to really go forward with your channel full force? Or
no, I do. I just couldn't because this year I felt like it was too toxic at the beginning. And I started getting more focused back into the money side of things after COVID, because before it was COVID, you had the chance to just like spend time doing that, you know what I'm saying? And there's ways that you can make money from the government off of that. But, after, post COVID, you got to kind of start grinding again in that way. So I started doing that and I had less time for it. And then I was going to do it before the summer started, but then all the kids were over here, man. And it's a full house when I have all the kids, bro. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time working on top of that.
Kids, man.
Yeah.
9 kids, you said, right? 9, I'm right?
Yeah,
9?
yeah.
Damn, brother. What's the age bracket in there in the kids?
From 20 1999 December, let's see here. So 23. Well, he's about to be 23. So my oldest son is going to turn 23 in December, and then my youngest is 2.5.
Wow. Respect,
And
brother.
I have 4 teenage daughters, bro.
Oh
4
my
teenage daughters.
Oh my
I got
God.
one and it's killing me.
Do they all get along with each other? Like all the kids?
Yeah, but that's the problem because they piggyback off of each other's emotions and shit, bro. It's crazy. And then they're expensive too. They're expensive. Everything is fucking expensive with them.
Yeah, brother, of course. Yeah.
It can't be like, you can't take them to Buster Brown's, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's quiet, son. No favorite shoe store, none of that, nigga.
Nah, they want the 211s. They don't want no Atomics, you know what I'm saying? They don't want no.
Italics was my shit, man.
So real quick before we wrap it up, is there for one, I want to know, what's the future for Major Key? What's the future look like for Major Key?
So for me, here's the thing, man. I'm actually I'm almost at 1,000 subs, man. Like I said, I haven't really put a lot of effort into the channel besides the interviews, and a lot of people like drama. That, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking to legends and shit like that, some people appreciate. I have a loyal fan base. Like I don't have to like go live for like a month, 2 months, and I still have the same amount of subs. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't lose anything.
That's dope.
It's a loyal fan base. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I want to definitely put out more content, but that's not my main focus. My main focus is actually start my own business. I have 3 different licenses in the state of Florida. You know what I'm saying? Health insurance, life insurance, and personal lines, which is for car and home, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to either start a business like that, but really what I want to do is a food truck. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Yeah. So you know how to throw down and shit? You know how to cook?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Well, shit, yeah. I mean, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you would like, the people to know?
I mean, shit, man. I mean, if anybody has questions in the chat after we post this, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna find out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be in the chat answering. But no, I mean, like, Major Key Boxing on YouTube, man. I'm definitely gonna stay dedicated to the Major Key Mondays again. I dropped the ball for that for a while, but me and Troy have already spoken about that. We're gonna start promoting his channel again and all of that. I had, like I said, some health issues and also with the children and all that. So we're back to square one, man. We're gonna start this whole thing again, man. I love your channel, man. I'm flattered that you guys invited me over, man. You guys are doing great things. I love your energy. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Likewise. Now, what I say with you though, Major, from day one that we met, your vibe is dope. I love your wisdom. I love when we get into deep conversations, and that's how we first met. We were having those kind of conversations, those topics, and you were coming on real knowledgeable on shit, and that's what kind of attracted us. It was like, yo, this dude is fucking, he got it, man. And then your vibe was amazing, and then you've been loyal to the channel, son. So we never said it, man. Thank you for the people you brought on, the followers we have now because of you. You know what I mean? And everybody's been still with us to this day. You know what I mean? Everybody that tapped in is like, yo, Major, send me over here. Yes. They still tap in to this day, and it's been the same vibe as your vibe. So you who you are because you surround yourself with good people, man. So I'm glad you became part of the iTalk family, and we got to know you on a better level with this one-on-one. You know what I mean? So
well, it's well deserved on y'all's end, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I wish Hab would have been here as well, man, because I really find the dude to be a very humble, funny dude, man. But each of you guys have your own personality that I rock with, and it's for a great combination. You know what I'm saying? Great conglomerate. And I'm just, like I said, I'm flattered to be over here with you guys asking me questions. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, man.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna take them off the solo screen. All right.
Yes.
Salute. Yeah. Once again, definitely extend appreciation. I definitely want to, if I'm not working, I've got free time. I definitely want to come on the Mondays, man. I love boxing. Maybe we could do something on iTalk, like an iTalk catch up about maybe Saturday fight. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what I want to do with you actually specifically, I want to actually introduce all of you guys into the community, right? Because there's people that watch other stuff too. It's not just boxing. Like some of them are going to be a little hating, well, I thought it was a boxing channel, but whatever. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But also introduce you guys and then do like a separate one right after with the Ladies of Itai just to promote your brand. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like bringing it like that. And then, man, whenever you guys want to do like a quick, I'll be, hey, if you want me to be like the advisor, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the person you bring in just to talk about boxing, I could do that for you.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
May had said he wanted to start doing some, a boxing segment and shit.
Yeah, Maine, you into that? Maine's knowledgeable on boxing. I remember a conversation you was holding it down.
Family,
Maine's knowledgeable,
Even my youngest son.
Your son impressed me when I walked in the crib. He started asking me questions about my era. I was like, and you looked at me like, yeah, he's with it. I said, oh shit, impressive.
But normally, we end the message with something positive, but I'm going to do something a little different today. And I know you synced it already, right? But I'm going to plan the content like this. Let's say, for instance, you just got off of work, right? And you pull up and there's something that's there, right? I'm going to play the video. There's something that's there. And the young boy, about 12, you see him in the neighborhood. He has a possibility of going that route, but he needs the adult figure. And y'all both looking at this video right here, or this scene right here.
This is crazy. This is the crime scene in the Bronx. Over here by the laundromat. Another young man down, at least 9 shots. Sad. It's a sad day. We need to stop this. What happened to the one-on-one fights?
What would be your message to the young boy that stood right there watching that scene with you?
Man, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That's why I don't live in New York, man. That's why I don't live in New York. I live in a nice neighborhood in Florida, and even then, my son thinks that he's dealing with issues. Right, and I gotta tell him all the time, bro. Yo, you lucky, you lucky. You know what I'm saying? So, all I would just I would say, instead of talking, hold them close and show them with actions. You know what I'm saying? Instead of talking, hold them close, show them with actions, and then after you see that they giddy with the feeling, that they feeling the love and the support, let them know. Do you know why to do this? It's because I love you, and you don't need to be paying attention to all that nonsense. You know what I mean?
Word up.
Now, Now, the reason why I say that, because a lot of times what happens if an older cat is at the scene and a young boy pull up, they'll be like, what happened? Old head be like, yo, they got body. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of sending the message to school them, they sit there and play along with it. So, yeah, you got body. Word up, man. He got hit up like 9 times.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Make it a gossip. Yeah.
That's the sad, but you see what I'm saying, bro? I tried to live back in New York when I moved to Long Island in 2000. Man, this was like I literally moved back to Hollywood, Florida, February of that year of 2001, before the towers dropped. And thank God, because I was actually doing catering all throughout Manhattan. Some high bread, like banquet server type of shit. With you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
there was bread in that shit down there, though.
Yeah. That's it. Back in those days, that was $20 an hour, bro. On some regular shit.
And that was great back then.
So yeah, man, like fuck, bro. Like I don't even know, man. Like I just felt like a dark cloud, and I was like, man, I can't live. I think I stood like 8 months, and I was like, nah, I'm going back to Florida, bro. Fuck this shit.
Man. Yep. I'm on my way back. By March, I'll be back in Florida. Yep. I'm on that house hunt right now, man. But yeah, we appreciate you, though, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you, man. You definitely a part of the family. Anything you need, you know what I'm saying? You have our connect, you know what I'm saying, to get in contact with us, man. Like the door is always open, man. The door is always open.
Same here, brother. Same here, man. Like I said, I'm gonna invite y'all over to my channel, Troy channel, man. With that being said, brothers, I appreciate y'all having me, man. I'm out. But much love, man. I'm gonna go ahead and share this too. When you post this, send me the link so I can share it on my channel as well.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Yeah, definitely, man, for sure. You got it.
All right, man.
God bless.
It's the only